Okay, now we're going to talk about stencils. So, the first thing you want to do is rub your stencil down really well. Make sure it's good and stiff. So then you want to turn it over. There is 3 layers to a stencil. There is the transfer tape, there's the vinyl, and then there's a wax paper on the back. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the wax paper off the back, okay? The trick to this is to keep this, see how I've got this paper folded really close? That's the key to getting it. And see how that's peeling up? If that happens, just push it back down and peel it again. See, that one's coming up, so I'm going to push it back down and do it again. The better you rub it, the less it'll do that. And you just want to go slow, but I'm always keeping this paper folded as much as I can keep it. See, I got a tree sticking up, so I'm going to push it back down. And then I'm going to keep peeling. Push that back down and keep peeling. And so what I'm going to show you is the 2-person transfer. Because this board has grooves in it, it can get a little bit complicated. Okay, so once you get your wax paper off, you want to grab your chip brush, okay? And it's going to be 2 people. So Michelle, if you'll hold those 2 corners up high. So one person holds 2 corners up high, the other person lines up the corners on the board and starts pushing it down while she's holding that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub this down until I feel that groove, with Michelle holding it up pretty high. Okay, I'm starting to feel that groove. Okay, so I'm going to rub this part down really well. And this paintbrush happens to fit in this groove perfectly. Don't do it straight up and down. Do it at an angle. And just rub that stencil in that groove really well. With the paintbrush at an angle like so. And then I'm going to rub it again really well until I feel the next groove. Okay, I'm starting to feel the next groove. So I'm going to rub that down really well. And I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to put it in that next groove. All the way across. Just like that. Okay? And then I'm going to start rubbing this one down. Same process. Rub it down till you feel the groove. Okay, that groove, there it is. That's what I'm saying. It should be soon. So then I'm going to rub that vinyl in that groove with my paintbrush. Okay, and that should be the last groove. All right. And then you're going to pull the transfer tape off the same way you pulled the wax paper off. Keep this angle tight. Keep this part folded all the way down and just kind of roll it off like so. And do you see how that vinyl got in them grooves really well? That's exactly what we wanted. Because the bleeds, if they're going to happen, they're going to happen in those grooves. Okay, so once I get my transfer tape off, I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to rub that again. Just gently. Just to make sure that everything is sticking really well. So I don't have any bleeds. And I'm just rubbing it down without crinkling the vinyl. So sometimes tapping it does good, and then you can rub it after you tap it down. Okay. And then I'm going to rub everything really well because we don't want it to bleed. Okay. And our next step is Mod Podge. So you don't want a lot of Mod Podge on your board because it's going to take forever to dry. So you're going to squirt a little bit on. You're going to take your chip brush. You're going to go around in circles and up and down, especially paying close attention to those cracks, like so. So go around in circles. Try to basically think of it as getting this paintbrush every which way. And your bristles will come off because these are chip brushes. That's what they do. Just push them out of the way. As long as they're not in the white part, you're okay. And so you see, I'm not putting a whole lot, but I am putting enough to where I can cover everything really, really well. Going in every different direction, making sure that I got plenty in those cracks. Just a little bit down here. And then finally, I'm going to go over the whole thing to make sure that, that it's covered evenly so that it dries evenly. Okay, whoops. Now this is when I recommend y'all eat. If you have food, now is the time to eat because this is going to take, it's probably going to take about 20 minutes to dry completely. You want to let it dry until when you touch it, you feel absolutely no tackiness. And then you can move on to the next step.